All that any human being is seeking for is pleasantness within himself, pleasantness around him. He sits in the bar, sits in the temple, he is still looking for the same thing.
Oh my goodness! We're down. Get down. Get down there.
Somebody stop this man.
That was one of my favorite things I've ever heard him say.
That was a nice tangent.
What all humans are seeking, what we're looking for, we're all really looking for the same things, and it's way simpler than we think. Hey!
Welcome back to part 2 of a Learn With Us episode, where we take...
That was so weird. Where we take videos that are worth your time.
And we learn from them.
With you.
With you.
All right. So now we are on to part 2 of... This could get a little weird, but hey, just strap in. We are here with part 2 of Sadhguru talking about the power of manifestation and attracting things with your mind.
If you haven't seen part 1 yet, head over to our channel.
Do it.
Some subscribers sent us this video. If you want to become a subscriber, all you gotta do is head right down there.
It's just a little button click. It's so easy.
Hey, and there's this little ringy ding dinger right next to it. You just gotta go bling. Hey, if that wasn't the strangest subscribe ask you've ever seen, let's make that our goal.
Yeah.
Like, how strangely can we ask you guys to subscribe and hit the bell notification button?
Just give us compliments with how weird it is. All right. All right. Let's see what this man has to offer. All right.
Part 2.
Focus.
Here we go.
Unwavering focus.
Everything and everybody that you have desired for, if all of that lands up in your house today, could you live with that? Once we're empowered like this, it's very important that our physical action, emotional action, mental action and energy actions are controlled and properly directed. If it is not so, we become destructive, self-destructive. Right now, that is our problem. The technology, which is supposed to make our life beautiful and easy, has become the source of all the problem that we are destroying the very basis of our life, which is the planet.
He knows.
Zabba-dabba-dabba-dooba. We create all of these amazing things in our mind first.
Yep.
That then become physical manifestations. Amazing things that make our life so easy and comfortable.
Yep.
And now those things have started destroying the thing that we originally came from. We've moved so far up into our minds.
Yeah.
And this like creation comfort space that we are now ignoring the thing that even made this mind. It is clear that if we see other living things dying, that means that we are a living thing. We're in that chain. That's a chain of death that's happening. And it's like, if we become so focused and realize that we have this power to build, to create, to do whatever, but we are not in a clear state of mind, we are fogged by all these different desires or whatever it be. I loved how he said, what if everything you've ever desired showed up in your house?
Yeah.
Could you live like that? No.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right.
All
See
right.
where he goes.
See where he goes.
Let's say you want to build a house. If you start thinking, oh, I want to build a house. To build a house, I need 50 lakhs, but I have only 50 rupees in my pocket. Not possible, not possible, not possible. The moment you say not possible, you're also saying, I don't want it. So on one level, you're creating a desire that you want something. On another level, you're saying, I don't want it. So in this conflict, it may not happen.
All right. Something cool that I came to at some point when you and I were talking one day, which really just reminds me of what Sadhguru is saying here. Every time in my life that I've come into a situation with a realistic mindset, I've gotten realistic results.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
If you don't want realistic results, don't always try to be realistic about how you think things are going to happen, because that doesn't open the door for the magic. Because the magic is the things that you'll remember. The magic is the things that levels up your life. You're never going to become this greater version of yourself and be amazing to all the things around you if you're always saying, if you always think you know what the possibilities are.
Oh,
Sometimes you go like this with the nail and you go,
that's what that felt
you
like.
just hit it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have stuff I could say, but I'm going to just let that one sit because that was nice. That was very nice.
All right.
Someone who has some faith in a god or in a temple or whatever, who is simple-minded. Faith works only for those people who are simple-minded. Thinking people, people who are too much thinking, for them it never works. A childlike person who has a simple faith in his god or his temple or whatever, he goes to the temple and says, Shiva, I want a house. I don't know how, you must make it for me. Now in his mind there are no negative thoughts. Will it happen? Will it not happen? Is it possible? Is it not possible? These things are completely removed by this simple act of faith.
Oh my gosh! You know what I just thought of? This might be so obvious, but when people are always talking about like, oh, God answered my prayers. But maybe it was their prayers. Like, it's easy to be skeptical about that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you prayed, God gave you everything you wanted. But maybe the prayers is just the hope and the positivity around that. Like, you're never going to be praying for something negative to happen. I mean, if you were, the negative things would more likely to be happening. But when you're praying, you're most likely thinking of these things, these positive things in your life that you want to bring into your life, or wishing well on other people. And when you're saying then, oh, God, answer my prayers, but it's because you're putting that into the world.
And you're going at it with the openness. You're not trying to say, I know how this is going to happen. You're just saying, like, you often talk about this idea of blind faith.
Yeah.
Like,
that's so this episode.
Yeah, as we talked about in a little bit last episode, when you have this extreme focus on one desire and it almost feels like blinders come up, or more like that the other things just kind of fall away.
Yeah.
You have this idea of what it is at the end, but you have no idea how you can get there, and all you can do is be like, I know that that's the thing.
And you don't know how it feels like when you're there.
Yeah.
You never do, and being humble enough to know that.
Yeah, and to accept that
while you're moving towards it.
That you're not trying to say how this thing is going to be.
Yeah.
Cuz I feel like that's the biggest thing, is when you're like giving all these expectations for like what a new lover would be like in your life or something. Yeah. You're always going to overanalyze every situation that you get in, whereas maybe the person who you didn't even know would be the best lover for you at that time would have came right by you. You would have had a conversation, and then you would have said like, oh, they're not like blonde like I envisioned. Like, obviously that's a shallow example.
Like I envisioned. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But if you accept that, like, all I know is that I need love right now.
Just trusting that the world will bring love into your life because that's what you're putting out.
Yes.
Isn't that just something?
That's something.
That's this. Yeah.
The only and only reason why you're unhappy is life is not happening the way you think it should happen. That's all it is. So if life is not happening the way you think it should happen, you're unhappy. If life happens the way you think it should happen, you're happy. It's as simple as that. So if life has to happen the way you think it should happen, first of all, how you think, with how much focus you think, how much stability is there in your thought, and how much reverberance is there in the thought process will determine whether your thought will become a reality or is it just an empty thought. Or how you do not create any impediments for your thought by creating negative thought process. This possible is something possible or not possible. It is destroying humanity.
So I've done a lot of like research into manifestation, law of attraction type stuff.
Yeah.
For multiple years now or whatever. But what it always comes down to is the idea that your thought and emotion, which are kind of the ways that we interact with our energy. Like our energy is then almost created by this thought and emotion. Because think about this. Your body is literally an electrical factory, right? Like your neurons and stuff, everything in your body is only moving because of energy, which is electrical currents. So those things are going to radiate out into this field that is everything. This is getting crazy. So of course, if you have the electrical pulses inside you, emotionally and thought-wise, interacting with everything else that is in this electromagnetic field, that is where you start to see if you have a certain alignment and strength within this vibration, it is going to affect the field around you. It's kind of like the crazier ideas you get into, but that's kind of what he was saying is like,
Yeah.
look, if your thought has a certain amount of, I think he literally said vibrational energy in it, or something like vibrance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, an easy way to practice that at home, home practice, is to bring whatever the thing is that you would like to manifest into your life into first just an imagination, but then pretty much step into that imagination and feel it as if you are that thing already. Because what that's going to do is bring the vibration inside of you, because your internal doesn't know the difference between your imagination and physical reality.
True.
So if you are able to imagine something to a certain extent, I'm reading a book right now by this guy named Joe Dispenza. I'm going on a tangent right now, but this is some neat stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely want to make some more videos on this. But I'm reading a book by this guy Joe Dispenza, who's pretty much a leading scientist when it comes to these ideas, manifestation. And they've done studies on what your mind can really control over your body or the space around you. But one of the things, I was telling you about this last night.
Yeah.
Physically, the things that your mind can do is amazing. They had people for a 12-week study, for 12 weeks, 5 days a week, as if a workout regiment, imagine themselves working out and flexing their bicep without actually doing it, but as frequently as you would do a big workout schedule.
Yeah.
And by the end of 10 weeks, their muscle strength had grown by 10% or 12% without touching weights, without literally just by thinking. So we know that our bodies do not know the difference between imagination and physicality. And therefore, if you step into an imagination of a thing that you want to happen and you vibrate with that, you literally feel it, you think it, those are the vibrations within you. That is how you're going to start to, change shit.
It shows just the power of the mind. The power of the mind to tell your body what's happening, regardless of what's happening out here, you know? Oh, that's crazy. That was
a long one.
That was a
but
long
hey,
one.
I hope you liked it.
What is possible and not possible is not your business, it's nature's business. Your business is just to strive for what you want. Right now you're sitting here. If I ask you two simple questions, I want you to just look at this and answer this. Right now from where you're sitting, can you just fly off? You say no. Right now from where you're sitting, can you get up and walk? You'll say yes. What is the basis of this? Why you say no to flying and yes to walking? Because past experience of life, many times you've gotten up and walked, never did you fly off. Or in other words, you're using the past experience of life as a basis for deciding whether something is possible or not possible. Or in other words, you have decided that what has not happened till now cannot happen in your life in future.
Oh. Ooh, that was a good example because he leads you down that track of like, I can't fly, obviously. And you're like, yes, I can walk, obviously. But then he traps you. He gets you.
How does he get you?
He gets you by saying, well, that's only based on this past experience. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. You have no idea what the possibilities are. So open to them.
Yeah. And like the flying example is obviously an extreme one.
Yeah.
But he makes things, like in general with Sadhguru too, he's always making these very obvious examples.
Yes.
That you can then apply into your life. And I feel like a lot of the people who don't necessarily follow Sadhguru too well, it's because they get lost in translation in those types of things. They're like, this isn't applicable to me. But
it's not what you should be hung up on.
Exactly. What you should understand is that example of the past and your expectations from the past are going to decide your future.
Yes.
If you've had bad relationships in the past and you start projecting that into the future, you're probably going to create some bad relationships. Whereas if you're open,
who knows?
Who knows the magic?
Who knows the magic? Oh, that's nice.
This is a disgrace to humanity and the human spirit. What has not happened till now on this planet can happen tomorrow. Human beings are capable of making it happen tomorrow. So what is possible and what is not possible is not your business. That is nature's business. Nature will decide that. You just see what is it that you really want and strive for that. And if your thought is created in a powerful way, without any negativity, without any negative thoughts bringing down the intensity of the thought process, the first and foremost thing is you must be clear what is it that you really want. If you do not know what you want, the question of creating it doesn't arise. If you look at what you really want, what every human being wants is, he wants to live joyfully, he wants to live peacefully. In terms of its relationships, he wants it to be loving and affectionate. Or in other words, all that any human being is seeking for is pleasantness within himself, pleasantness around him. This pleasantness, if it happens in our body, we call this health and pleasure. If it happens in our mind, we call this peace and joy. If it happens in our emotion, we call this love and compassion. If it happens in our energy, we call this blissfulness and ecstasy. This is all that a human being is looking for. Whether he is going to his office to work, he wants to make money, build a career, build a family, he sits in the bar, sits in the temple, he is still looking for the same thing.
Oh my goodness! We're down. Get down. Get down there.
Somebody stop this man.
That was one of my favorite things I've ever heard him say.
That was a nice tangent.
That was something that I personally really connected with. I feel like when he's talking about this purpose that we all have, not purpose, but what all humans are seeking, what we're looking for, we're all really looking for the same things, and it's way simpler than we think. Because if you narrow it down to those things that Sadhguru was talking about, this what was the word he was saying?
Pleasantness?
Pleasantness, this love connection, whatever you want to call it, that, if you run a filter over your life and think, is this getting me closer to that love and connection, that pleasantness, or is it not? Because there's going to be a lot of things that aren't. And then really, really ask yourself, why am I doing it? This is something that I've had to pound into my head, because there are so many things that I do that don't lead me toward this love and connection that I'm searching for. Because what else really matters in life?
And what if you empowered yourself to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like so much when I hear you say that,
Yeah.
giving yourself that simple of a, is this bringing me more pleasant life or a less pleasant life?
Yeah.
Then, and like, I think the difficult thing is that often society is saying, this thing's going to give you a pleasant life.
Yeah.
It's going to be the automobile. And maybe for some people, a cool automobile really gives them like a lot of life satisfaction. I don't know. I know with me personally, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you have all of your friends saying that it does,
Yeah.
even though you don't actually know if they've ran that filter over their life anyway.
Right.
But then empowering yourself and bringing it back to you to be like, no, I know inside of me that this is not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just love the idea of you being who you are and trusting in who you are being the thing that's going to lead you to this more pleasant life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because everything around marketing, just the whole idea is to strip you of that.
Mm-hmm.
And to be like watch every ad ever. It's going to show you something that maybe like you have this innate desire for, like love. Every car commercial, it's like two attractive people hop in a car together with their attractive kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, but obviously that's on purpose. They're picking the things that are somehow going to hit you deeply.
Yeah.
And then be like, this other desire is going to get you there. When no, you're actually searching for the root of that advertisement.
Yeah.
Not what they're selling you.
Absolutely. And you know what, folks? This pleasant life, this love and connection, that's why we started this channel.
Hey.
Like when you get down to it, that's why we started this channel. We're looking for that for ourselves. We want to like empower other people to do that with us. So that's just
hey,
just
if
so
you like
know.
that idea,
Zuzzing.
hit the little subscribe button.
Just do that.
No, and it's so cool having you guys around for the journey too.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who sent this video, sent all the other videos. If you have any more videos, send them. Because we see you guys are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And especially when there's people in India
I know.
that we get to just chat with and be like,
But people who are just like on this same sort of path that we are.
And it just shows no matter where you are on earth,
We're all looking for the same thing.
this is what we're looking for.
We're all looking for the same thing.
So let's do it together.
Together.
A new dream.
Pleasantness within, pleasantness around. If this is what we want to create, I think it's time we addressed it directly and commit ourselves to creating it. So you want to create yourself as a peaceful human being, joyful human being, loving human being, a pleasant human being on all levels. And do you also want a world like this? A peaceful world, a loving world, a joyful world? No, I want greenery, I want food. When we say a joyful world, that means everything that you want has happened. So this is all that you're looking for. So all that you need to do is commit yourself to creating it, to create a peaceful, joyful and loving world, both for yourself and everybody around you. Every day in the morning, if you start your day with this simple thought in your mind, that today, wherever I go, I will create a peaceful, loving and joyful world. If you fall down 100 times in the day, what does it matter? For a committed man, there is no such thing as failure. If you fall down 100 times, 100 lessons to be learnt. If you commit yourself like this to creating what you really care for, now your mind gets organized. Once your mind gets organized, the way you think is the way you feel, your emotion will get organized. Once your thought and emotion is organized, your energies will get organized in the same direction. Once your thought, emotion and energies are organized, your very body will get organized. Once all these four are organized in one direction, your ability to create and manifest what you want is phenomenal. You are the creator in many ways. That which is the source of creation is functioning within you every moment of your life. It is just that, have you kept access to that dimension or not? Organizing the four basic elements of your life will give you that access There are tools and technologies to do this. The whole science of yoga, the whole technology that we refer to as yoga is just about this, transforming yourself from being just a piece of creation to become a creator. It is my wish and my blessing that every human being in this world should have this access to the source of creation within himself so that he can function here as a creator, not just as a piece of creation.
That… you could have taken those last 2 minutes and just sent it to every human on Earth,
Yeah.
and we would be in a better place tomorrow than we are
Oh,
today.
isn't that something? Do we even need to say anything? No. That's what's going through my head. I'm like, huh, what's an intelligent thing I can say about that? Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
I just think reiterating that idea of when you wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
just having that goal of creating a pleasant world.
That's what we're talking about with the filter.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up every morning, you have that filter, you have that goal, and then you move through your whole day, and that's always in the back of your mind. That's always going to lead you in this better direction.
in those 2 minutes, he summarized everything we said in part 1 and part 2. Like, dude, did you hear how he said the, like, when your thoughts become aligned and your body become aligned, your emotion becomes aligned? And then your energies become aligned? That's literally what we were just talking about with that other book I've been reading.
But then he was like, zip.
Just did it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Screw me, man.
Come on now.
Why are we even here? No, I think that's the thing, though. I would not... I've seen so much Sadhguru content at this point that I've seen him say similar things. And only now am I pulling so many of the things that I'm getting now out of it.
Yeah. I think it's helpful to have people who, like, it's easy to watch a Sadhguru video and miss a lot of the things that he says.
Yeah.
But I think it's helpful for us to, like, keep pausing it and stuff and, like, always be going through all the nitty gritty of what he says, because you pause it all the time. And I'm like, oh, why'd you pause it? And then you'll explain what he just said that I just missed. And I'll be like what?
Dude, every sentence he says.
Yeah.
It's like just incredible.
Well, folks.
Yeah.
We loved this two-parter.
Yeah.
This one was amazing. Let us know what you thought. Where your mind goes. How are you working toward living a more joyful, loving life? How are you doing it? We want to know.
Yeah. And we want to join you.
Well, folks.
Thanks again to the subscribers who sent this.
Yes.
And be well.
Much love.